You are now tuned into the Wake the Flock Up Network.
This old-time radio program was originally aired live, long before the advent of high fidelity. As a result, you may detect an occasional surface noise or volume drop due to transmission problems so common to old radio. We hope, however, that any variance in audio quality will not take away from your pleasure in listening to this, one of the all-time favorite shows.
Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Everybody wake the fuck up! From the city to the burbs, every street, every curve, you can block what you heard. That's the cure. Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Everybody wake the fuck up! From the city to the burbs, every street, every curve, you can block what you heard. That's the cure. Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Everybody wake the fuck up!
One.
And we are on.
Two. Welcome back to the show. You are now listening. You are now experiencing Wake the Flock Up with Concept 714 with a very special guest today. If you know Wake the Flock Up, you know my next guest. I'll let him introduce himself.
Yo, what's poppin'? It's the Hyphenate. I'm hyped to be back. And bro, your Wake the Flock Up studio looks so dope and so similar.
Right. Yeah, you like it? Yeah, it's something I threw together.
Yeah.
No, we're here at beautiful Doubt Me Studios in Downey, California.
In Los Angeles.
LA County.
In Area 51.
Oh, that's right.
And you don't know what city it is?
Oh, is that a secret? Did I ruin your
I don't like people to know exactly where I be.
Oh, okay.
But it's all good.
It sounds like you got some. Sounds like you got some bill collectors you're trying to dodge or something.
Always. I'm a hip hop artist, bro.
Yeah, that's what's
They're always
up.
after fucking us, man. We're broke as fuck.
Hyphenate. Let me say this first. I'm very proud of you, bro.
Thank you.
I mean that respectfully, not like little brother. No, I mean like I am very proud, and you are a very inspiring person to hang around with. The smartest people in the world are those people that know they're not that smart. Right, those are the
people that know that they don't know anything at all, really. Like you know stuff, but you know in the grand scheme of things, you don't know shit.
Because a smart man, a fool always thinks he's smart, right?
Yeah.
But a smart man knows there's stuff that he doesn't know yet.
Right.
And I think artists are the same way in the way that
Good artists
are the ones that know, oh, hey, there's a lot to learn from that artist. There's a lot I learned that I could learn by just hanging around.
There's always something to learn.
Always something to learn. And being around you, you're very inspirational dude to hang around with because your hustle is undeniable, bro. And it's gotten you this far, and I can't wait to see where you are next year because every year. And in the hardest year that we've had, you're achieving some pretty dope things.
I appreciate that, man.
So when we got the ball rolling back, I was like, well, we got to get the Hyphenate just because we got to catch up on that level. Also, he's a great person to introduce to other people that might not know where to start or that have started, but they don't know how far they can take it off of hustle alone. Like, right. And the skills are there, obviously. Right.
Thank you.
But the hustle, I think, is something that people don't realize is like 90% of the work. Right?
100%. Yeah. Like the talent, we've talked about this a million times, so we won't go too far into this, but talent is bare minimum. The hustle has to like really come in strong if you're trying to make something happen.
Yeah. And like, you're right. But what I told people, being dope is, dude, you
have to.
That's your minimum.
Yeah.
So don't come, oh, I'm dope. So I should, no. Being dope is your base.
Yeah.
Can you build on that base?
Yeah.
Do you have the other skills, the other drives, the intelligence to know, hey, I don't know much.
Yeah.
Let me learn how I can make it better
and
how
also
I can.
being willing to be humble. Like humility is important for greatness.
Right.
Like you have to know, there has to be a level of confidence where you're like, you know that you are dope.
Yeah.
And that you are creating something that's actually worth being proud of, or at least worth sharing at bare minimum. But at the same time, like always looking to get better, looking to improve, looking to find new avenues in ways to take things to another level. Like you have to be humble at the same time, while at the same time having a strong willpower and confidence.
So let's for people that might not be familiar with the Hyphenate yet, people that are just watching the show for the first time, or people that just get introduced. Where did the name the Hyphenate? Where did that come from?
Well, the Hyphenate, so I come from my first passion. One of my first loves is filmmaking, and so at a very early age, I was like, I'm gonna be a filmmaker, and as I was pursuing film through middle school, high school, preparing my mind for college, like I was like, all right, I'm gonna that's what I'm gonna pursue. And I was already being active in creating my own films, et cetera, et cetera. So while I was going to college, my first year of college to pursue film further, they introduced the term hyphenate. And by that point, I was maybe about 7-8 months into starting to like make music, and I was kind of getting semi-serious about music, and I was like my first stage name, because my real name is Joey, Joey, and so my first stage name was just Joe-E, J-O-E, just so that way it would be the same sound.
Yeah.
And but I knew like it wasn't enough, and you and me both coming from like the underground hip hop world, my favorite hip hop artist names were those long elaborate names that had like nicknames built into the names, like. You know Vinny Paz from Jedi Mind Tricks. Yeah. His first name, or at least the name before Vinny Paz, was Icon the Verbal Hologram, which to this day is like my favorite hip hop artist name of all time. Yeah, it's great. So Icon the Verbal Hologram. So he had like a name with like a moniker attached, but it was the actual full name. Yeah. And then his producer for Jedi Mind Tricks is named Stoop, the Enemy of Mankind.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
That name right there, Stoop, the Enemy of Mankind, is just phenomenal. Yeah. So I had Joe-E, and I knew I wanted something more to it. While I was in school for film, and I was just starting to get into music, they taught us the term hyphenate. A hyphenate is someone in a film that does 2 or more roles. So like Steven Spielberg, if he was a director and he was a writer for that project, he would be a hyphenate because he would be a director or producer, et cetera, whatever, dash a hyphen, and then the other role, right? Writer, et cetera.
George Lucas.
George Lucas.
Writer,
yeah.
director,
so anybody that does 2 or more roles is considered a hyphenate for that project. So already having my love for film, starting to build a love for music and trying to create a stage name, I was like, like also in all my projects in film, as I was creating everything I would create, I would write, direct, I would edit. So I was already doing multiple roles in film. Then when I started making music, I started making beats, started writing my rhymes as a performer, so multiple roles again. So when they said hyphenate, it's like, that's me. Like, one, it comes from the film world, which is my first love. Now building this love for music, and I'm a hyphenate in music, like that's perfect for me. So then I was like Joe-E, the hyphenate, but I felt like there was still something more. So originally my name, when I kind of really solidified it, was Joe-E, the mastermind hyphenate, because I had like I have high self-esteem, and I always have. But again, still always being humble and always wanting to learn and knowing that I know nothing compared to, like, you know, at the end of the day. But so Joe-E, the mastermind hyphenate, was my name. That's where hyphenate came from. And then as I would do more shows, as I started like really progressing in music, and people would put me on flyers for this show or that show, like Joe-E, the mastermind hyphenate is just way too much for people. And then I had a website, which was like themastermindhyphenate.com, way too much. Like the longest fucking email ever. You know, it was fucking terrible. So then eventually it was like, okay, I need to cut that back. And some people would just write Joe-E on the flyers. I'm like, nah, like the hyphenate part is what I like more, or things like that. So then I was like, oh, I should just go by the hyphenate. So I forget how many years ago, but quite a while back, I was like, I'm dropping everything else and just sticking with the hyphenate. But that's where it comes from film, from my loves. And I'm still a filmmaker to this day. I do all my music videos, direct them, I edit them, I do all types of stuff in film and in music still. So I'm, you know, so it's very, the name is me, very much you. Yeah, 100%. Like there's like, it's 100% synonymous with who I am as a person. So I've always liked when things have meaning. Like when I do things, for the most part, they have like layers to them. Like they come from something of importance. They signify something of importance, you know, etc. So I think depth as an artist is important. And I also feel that I don't get that enough. And my favorite artists are the ones that have layers, that have depthness to them. And also it's a good thing to have
in your personal life also, to just be able to be more than one person to many different people, including to yourself. Like that's an important part of growth and just like maturing with age as an adult, is learning your flaws and practicing and working to getting better at them. I feel a lot of people don't have that self-awareness of like, hey, I'm an asshole. Maybe I should stop trying to be this. Or I feel people you will call them assholes are people that have no self-awareness of how they make other people feel, right? Or how they don't understand what they just said could be taken, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And if they only had the self-awareness, I would like to think they'd be like, oh man, like I didn't mean to hurt their feelings. Let me work on this.
Right.
Let me have in layers. Let me have kind of presenting yourself in one way to all people is not going to work, bro. Like you need to, I can't go home and start fucking talking hip hop to my wife. It's like, it's not going to fly, bro. It's not going to it's not going to vibe. But it's looked upon like you're two-faced, or like it's like, no, man, it's evolve, it's maturing, it's adapting to the situation better than.
I mean, so long as your core fundamentals are the same,
right?
Like, like if your behavior, your internal behavior traits are different when you're around different people, like that's probably like not a good thing about your personality or your character, because then you're like fucking shifty. But like if you at the core level are the same person, but like simple, like surface level, like the way you speak, right? Like the way I speak to certain people when I do, because you know I do different things, not just music, and I do business and all kinds of stuff, right? When I talk to like on business people, I speak to them in a very proper way. But when I talk to the homies, I'm like, yo, what's poppin', son? How you doing? You know what I mean? But like my character is the same. Like on a human level, what I would let fly or not fly is the same across the board.
As it should
like
be.
I don't like give people passes for doing some fucked up shit just because I'm around. I am who I am at all times. It's just you adapt to certain people's simple surface personality traits just to feel more comfortable with them. You know, like I'll speak more slang when people speak more slang.
Especially dealing with business people, there's an understanding like, hey, dude, I don't act like this when I'm at home. Like this is at interviews, everyone knows they're on their best behavior. Like it's a certain level of that you share respectfully to kind of get through the situation that you're in, right? So what I like to tell people is I don't pretend. And what I mean by that is yes, that the core values are going to be the same no matter what situation I'm in, but I can maneuver in whatever situation I'm in. Of
course.
But but without sacrificing the things I hold to be truths, like evidence. Like the minute you start to sacrifice a truth of yours, you need to look at, is this situation a one you want to be in? Like if you have to sacrifice your pride,
then you're just a fake ass person, and I don't fuck with that. Like I've seen people that like really adapt like their character to different types of people, and I'm like, that's not who you are, bro. Like what the fuck are you doing, you fake ass shit? Like,
but I think that people find it easier, or they think it's acceptable that and it's like, honestly, I will respect you more knowing that you're going to be, I can trust Hyphenate to be Hyphenate in any situation. Like I know Hyphenate's not going to steal something out of my bag when I'm not looking, because Hyphenate has something called morals and standards that he holds himself to. Transitioning to the way you deliver what you deliver. You're a cat with many different hats: director, producer, MC, all this. But I think the quality of work across the board is dependable when it comes to Hyphenate. When did you learn that, and when did you establish saying, okay, it has to be at a minimum of this standard?
Well, that standard is always changing, by the way. That's like, as I grow and as I improve, that standard gets higher and higher, right?
Upwards.
Yeah. So it's never been like, this is the standard and it's always at this standard. It's my personal, like, I don't know where it fully came from. I think it was honestly a big influence from many aspects of my life, and I'll touch more on it in a bit. But like, I've always had this drive for wanting to improve, wanting to be better, wanting to excel. And when I excel, then I want to excel again. And it's just like a never ending thing. And that's just like a part of my personality. So my standard of like every video I do is going to be at this standard, or every song or whatever, right? Like whatever my standard was like 4 or 5 years ago, like my standard is way higher now. But so that's like that moves with me. But like that part of it always has to be higher, or it always has to be better. I feel like our character, our behavior traits, our habits are drastically influenced by other people. So I think some of it came from like growing up with, you know, my uncle who was like, oh no, like let me help you make this better, or like my mom always like pushed me like, yeah, you can do this, even when I maybe wasn't able to do it, you know, but I had an idea. So like those have been helpful. Or also too, just like me as a human being analyzing other people, not just by experience, but by analyzing them, like, oh, these people stay in the same place and then fall by the wayside, but these people excel, or these people become successful, whether it's financial, whether it's happiness, however you want to measure it, right? Whether it's content, you know, etc. So just when you want to be better, you find ways to be better, and then you really have to like analyze what makes things better. So having a high standard and always wanting that standard to be better is just a part of what's it's like that's something that you have to do as someone who wants to become successful. And so you know, I would like to sometimes not try as hard for some of the things I do,
right?
But if I don't try as hard, I know I'm not going to get to where I want to be. So I have to try harder than as hard as I already want to try. You know what I mean?
No, you got to try twice as hard just to fix the issue. Like, might as well just get it right the first time.
And even then, it's like, how do I make it better the next time? It's a never-ending thing. Like, I think there's like a part of me where, like, retirement to me, I don't think is something that's going to be existent in my world. Like, I don't think there'll be a day where I'm like, I'm cool, I'm going to chill, and I don't really care to like do anything hustle-wise. Like, my mindset, I already know when I reach like certain levels that I've been aiming for forever, I'm gonna now then want to reach the next level, and the next level, and like,
because there's always a next level to reach, right?
With my mindset, and I think it's like a gift and a curse.
Yes, but it's a pretty good curse. Like, I'd rather have this be the curse than the curse be me being just fucking lazy and having no drive and having no ambition. Because, dude, I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand.
And most people.
And it murders your soul. It will take over your soul. Laziness sounds like an easy dismissal of things, but in reality, being lazy is probably the worst thing you can be as a human being. As a male, I assure you, being lazy is the worst thing you can be.
Well, I will say this, though, real quick. It comes down to the individual. Like, what makes you happy? Like, I have certain family members that I know that are just homebodies. They just want to be home, watch TV, go to work, come back, chill. That's not my mindset. I can't do that. Like, I can't even stay. I can't even when I always have things to do because I make myself have things to do because of my mindset. But like, when I'm like, okay, break time. If I'm like after I watch a movie, maybe chill, maybe play some video games, like, I can only do like a half day of like doing nothing before I internally, without outside pressures, being like, I gotta fucking do something productive. But that's just my mindset. So what I was gonna say is, like, for people that want more out of life, laziness is like, not really an option long term. But if you are happy, do you. Like, I have people that are complacent and like being complacent, and I'm not gonna judge that. But the majority of people don't like being complacent, even though they are complacent. Like, I know people that.
Do you think there's a guilt there?
I think it's tied to like our society and how much our society compares each other. Compares themselves. So like, I have a friend that is complacent, but always complains about being complacent and wanting more, but has no real effort or physical push to, like, doesn't actually do something about her being complacent. Like, she complains about being complacent all the time. Oh, I wish I had more to do. I would like to do this and this and that, but does nothing to do those things. So they want more, but don't work on it.
Everybody wants more without having to do more.
But what I'm saying that there are a select small few, handful of people that don't want more and are fine there. And I'm saying, like, that's cool. Like, if you have found your balance in your life where you can just get by, or you can just clock in, clock out, and you have no other ambitions, but if that makes you feel good, fucking cool. That's fucking awesome.
I hear you, but I would say my response to that would be that very few times in life is your actions not affecting somebody else and your lack of actions not affecting somebody else. When you have kids, when you are in a relationship, when someone is there and emotionally is attached to you, whether by choice because you're married or your girlfriend, or because you're their dad, right? You're not doing anything is affecting them whether you want to think about it or not.
And I do agree with that. So I'm saying, like, if you don't have any responsibilities to anybody and you want to be as lazy the fuck you want. But yeah, once you have, like, especially kids, I firmly believe that you need to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
Like, I personally, man, and like I see this all the time, and it really upsets me and it bothers me when I see parents that just do the bare minimum. Like, no, motherfucker. Like, just because you put food on the table and give a house, like, that's not enough. It's not enough.
No.
Like, you have to do more. Like, they're not a fucking pet where you just fucking, even then, I don't even like the idea of pets. And we can talk about that later. But like, your job as a parent, as a, a guardian, as someone who cares for another, young being that you're trying to raise, like, you need to give them more than just, all right, here's a place to stay and here's some food and here's some clothes. Right. Peace out. Or
it's like when we talked about so when people like have like, so I've had discussions where somebody I see like they use the well, he doesn't cheat on me. Or he doesn't hit me, or he doesn't, and I'm like, yeah, that's bare minimum shit. Like, not cheating on somebody in a relationship should be standard.
Right.
That is not a reason to praise someone or to.
Like, that's a given.
It doesn't excuse their other behavior. Like, that should be the bare minimum. He doesn't cheat on you should be standard. So don't.
You're saying, like, when people just stay with someone because they're comfortable, as opposed to being with someone that,
or the person is not physically abusive, but they're emotionally abusive, right? Yeah. Also, when. See, the thing is like this. So some people will take advantage of others' people love and care for them, and they will misuse that person. Now, the person being misused either chooses not to see that or honestly cannot see that because they do love that person. So when an outsider goes and views his relationship and goes, oh, well, he's obviously taking advantage of you, because he knows you love him, or he knows that love is there, and he's taking advantage of you as a person because of that. Right. And see, it all comes to, we're getting too specific, but what I meant by being lazy as a male is the only figure that I can speak of, because I don't know what it's like for a female or how they're perceiving it. But for me, I believe a male should affect their surroundings. I believe a male should contribute, and I believe a male has a responsibility to do something with the world that they live in. Like, you don't get to just sit home. Like, as a male, as a man, I believe that you should be held responsible for the things that are happening around which you can do things about, right? Okay. So if your kids live in a shithole, you don't get to clock out, bro. You need to go get that second job. You need to 100%. Hustle harder. So when it's very rare that your actions don't affect someone else. So yes, if you're a single dude and you want to be a POS, fine, whatever, okay. But if you're a dude and have kids, you don't get to do that, bro. Yeah. And you're married, you don't get to do that. I can't
stand like these lazy ass parents that just let the iPads raise their kids. Yeah. That just watch TV all day and don't do arts and crafts with their kids. That don't sit there and try to help them learn their homework even if they don't fucking know it. You know, like at bare minimum, when you're bringing a child, like I wish it was harder for people to have kids, man. I really do. I feel it's like way too easy. And motherfuckers just it just in the mass number, like, there are some good parents out there, but when you compare like how many good parents there are and bad parents, like unfortunately there are way more bad parents.
You think so?
100%.
You think there's more bad parents than there are good parents?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's a bold statement. Well, I would say it's unfortunately it's about even. And that's still bad.
Even if it was even,
and that's still bad that there's as many good parents.
7 billion people, you have 3.5 billion
shitty parents. That's a bad thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's not. So it kind of leads me into my next questions that I have for the hyphenate, because I want to know these things, and I want people to get to know. You are like you're saying, you don't have kids. You talked about that, right? How is it like living in your 30s?
Damn, I'm on my 30s already? Damn, son. I don't even remember.
I'm assuming?
No, I am.
Okay. With that emotional attachment to it sounds, I don't want to put it to it because I know you have a little brother that you do spend a lot of time with. So I don't mean, but in a direct, like, in your 30s, you're expected to like start getting married, or if not already be
I don't
married.
Let society
like,
pressure me into anything I don't want to do.
Okay.
Like I have like my grandparents always asking me like, oh, you know, when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna have kids?
Yeah.
Like for me, people like I like seeing people happy.
Yeah.
And whatever it is that you do that makes you happy, so long as it's not hurting other people, like that's fucking dope. And I support the fuck out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing people getting married and being happy about their marriage. I love seeing people become parents and being happy about being parents and being good parents. Like that's fucking dope. It's not a path for me. Like it's just something I don't care for. And so like I'm not like with how I feel, I don't want people to interpret this as me dissing them because I'm not. I think it's like great parents and like seeing families together and happiness. Like that's fucking beautiful to me. I like not having kids. I like not having like a wife. Because I know my personality, and we talked a lot about that already on one of my podcast episodes. But like, I just like not having responsibilities because I'm so focused on what I want to do, and I have zero desire for it.
And when was this realized? When did you say, you know what?
Well, when I was younger, I was like a hopeless romantic.
Yeah.
I was like I'm gonna find the the love of my life.
Sure.
And like I'm like the Great Gatsby type dude, bro. Like I would go above and beyond, very big gestures, very affectionate, very like giving.
And then you realize that like, females don't really respond to that kind of shit. Because they don't really.
No.
The movies want you to think that, but in reality, females
they just
don't
take advantage of that shit.
100.
And I'm not saying all, but like 99.9% take advantage of that shit and don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like I actually tried being. Not even tried, bro. I'm gonna say this. I was a legit dope ass boyfriend. Like I did the things that like the fucking movies and novels would say to do. You know, like I was that guy that was like super honest, very transparent, very would communicate all the time, very understanding, would try to figure things out, try to talk things out, like, and I would go, anytime they felt bad, I would go, oh, let me go get them the thing that they like, their favorite candy, like, they're, I'd surprise them all the time. All that shit that's like super romantic and like every girl says that they want, I did that shit. But the human nature is to become dependent on things that they get. It's just human nature. So like, people get used to it, then they expect it. And if you skip one day of the thing that they're used to, there's a problem, and you're the problem, even though you're doing more than you should or than you have to.
Yeah.
And so like, and then when they get too much of the awesome thing that they say they want other things.
Because ultimately,
but that's human nature. It's not even, I'm not talking about just women.
No.
Just people.
It is a human nature. And also I would throw this in, that it's also human nature to be, or to want to be dominant to something or someone, which I think pets comes into play, that having power over something. And if this person is voluntarily submitting to you by buying you flowers all the time, and what's wrong? Why are you mad? What? You will get this sense of overlordish, whether you want it or not, until you realize what you're doing, and you keep it in check. And females, there's a reptilian side of their brain that, okay, this is submissive. I can dominate here. I can move my hands and he'll do, like, they understand that at
really,
some
that's
point.
Any human.
Yes.
When you're given something and you become accustomed to it, you expect it.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, I've been single for a little over 6 years now.
When you say single, what does that mean?
Like, haven't had a relationship.
You haven't had a girlfriend.
Correct.
Like someone you would call a girlfriend you've just dated.
Over 6 years. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess you can call it dated, but like
you wouldn't call
it hanging out, but I guess technically it could be dated.
See, no, we're pulling back this, and it's like you're removing yourself as much as possible from attachment here. You're like, whoa, wait, listen. We were in dating. We were hanging out. Okay,
I would call it hanging out.
There's a pattern that's starting to develop. I guess like
there's a level of dating to it, so people can call it whatever they want. But yeah, like for me, there was like, we're hanging out. There was no like, there's no
6 years.
Yeah,
and no need, no like, hey man, like
the first few years, I was more open to relationships. Still, I was still more open to like that ideal. I like getting a girlfriend, eventually finding, and then becoming my wife, and then having like 2 kids and like being married. Like the first few years of being single, like from 6.5 years ago till maybe about 4 years ago, like maybe 3 years ago, actually, that was more of an idea that was a possibility that I was open to, but it was like slowly diminishing. It was probably about 3.5 years ago where I was like, I'm good.
And now it's like you avoid those steps on purpose. Like
I'll go out with girls. Like,
okay, but let's say you go out with a girl
Yeah.
and you realize, oh, I'm really starting to like this girl.
Well, so I'm not a never type person. I don't say the words never.
Right.
I don't. I'm not like anti things where I'll like people who sabotage possibilities or opportunities just because they're like, no, never, ever, ever. Like, that's stupid. I just have zero desire for it. Like, if it were to happen, like, and I would like fully really feel, if it was logical and emotional and they were both at a high level, then I would pursue it. But like,
so you've never found yourself like thinking a little too much about this girl. Let me just stay away. Like, that's not a thing you're aware of. So you're like, okay, let me just cut back because I don't want to further catch feelings.
I've had like crushes on girls throughout some of those years, especially again like the first 3.5 years of being single from the last time I ended my last relationship. I had like moments where like, oh, like I could see myself dating or like kind of seeing where it goes. But things just didn't pan out, and I'm glad they didn't, because like I in the earlier parts, those earlier years, I was I don't know. I just feel like the more I've got to know myself and my mindset, which we talked about on the Downbeat podcast, like before, where I was talking about like really I know what it takes to be a boyfriend, a husband, and all that stuff, and I was like, I don't want to let someone down. Like that's where my mindset is now, right? Like I know that I don't want to be the husband that has to give this much time, do these things. Like I don't want to do that. But like when I did have moments where I had crushes, I'm like, oh, let me see where it goes, like and try to pursue, and just for whatever reason things didn't work out. But like I also, the more I got to know some of these girls, I was like, they're like, I started really being more self-aware of what I would need down the line, and like they didn't really fit that bill. Like I had crushes on them. I like, hey, let's go out. Hey, but then I was like, oh, something doesn't fit. And why even bother? So like now I'm so aware of what I want and don't want in my life that like if you at any level is kind of like a speed bump or anything that slows me down at some level, like nah.
See, you display a tremendous amount of self-awareness that I think is really lacking in most males our age. Okay.
Yeah.
And self-control that is very impressive, Ivan. Like I'm very impressed by yourself. The reason that I always like to have a girlfriend is because I like to fuck. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't want to have to worry about, this person or coming back with something. Like that's why I really commit myself to like most relationships, because I just like, I like that. And I don't want to have to like, man, okay, I'm going to go to the bar and I'm going to try to get this girl. Like I don't like that.
Yeah.
Also, I am very emotional dude. Anyway, so like I got a lot of love to give, and I want to give it somewhere. Right. I have, but I have not spent a solitary single day in my 30s. Like I've been with my wife 12 years. We've been married 9 of those years now. Okay, the same one. You've never known any other one. So I was very curious. I'm like, man, I wonder how Hyphenate sees the world, being in his 30s and having to be out there and like, and now you're telling me you're not trying to conquer love. You're not trying to.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not looking for love at all.
Yeah.
I'm having fun. I feel like I still have I also have a lot of love to give, but being self-aware of my mindset, what I want out of life, I know that, because when I was in relationships too, because I would give so hard, like it would distract me a lot. So I also know that when I'm a little too emotionally involved, I start to not be as productive with the things that I want. But like the things that I'm chasing, like my goals, the desire for them is so extremely high now that that's my priority. That's my baby. Like my career path, my accomplishments that I want to obtain, like that's wifey.
Right.
And that's priority. Nothing besides family is above that. So like if I were to even date someone on a semi-serious level, like they would not be the priority over my hustle.
Yeah.
And I'm aware of that. So like I know that I'm only going to give you what I can give you, which is not enough to merit a relationship on a even boyfriend
so
level.
let me not even piss you off by having you doubt it and then having her because and this is why I asked it might seem weird that I asked this question, but because I was looking for that answer. And I want them watching and listening to know that there is a path that you do have to take in order to be successful, or at least to achieve your goals in the quickest, most sufficient way possible. Because look, you can be married and be successful. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, you could be married, you could have kids, but the path definitely becomes harder.
It becomes absolutely harder, and it will absolutely take longer. And I will tell you that for someone from experience.
Yeah.
If I was a single dude, I can go drive to New York for that interview, or I can go do here and stay and slap and no, who cares? But so there would be less obstacles, whether they're beautiful, gorgeous obstacles or not, in the way of those dreams. And I am not emotionally where you are, so I am okay with maybe only reaching a level of success or only reaching this path, or even if it takes longer, because I'm kind of okay with. I've always in my life, I'm not the most important person in my life. I'm not, and it's always been kind of like that. Like I've always put other people, and I'm fine with it. Like I don't care.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the individual gets to choose the path they want. I think that's one of the most beautiful things about life is that there's not a set path. Like, in order to live a happy life, this is what you have to do, and you have to follow
Hollywood will tell you, if in order to have a marriage or love, you have to do these super extreme things.
Like I hate the idea that people need someone else to feel fulfilled. Like you're empty if you don't have the partner. Like you're only half full. Like shut the fuck up. Like first off, there are people that find love and they make them better, they add a layer to them, and that's fucking awesome. And that's because the individual, like yourself, that's something that fulfills you. You being a provider, you complete, you having your wife that completes you, then you having kids, and they are more important in this world than just you, right? Like those things. And if that fulfills you, if that makes you feel great, hell yeah, don't suppress that. So that's what I'm saying. Like if there's anything like that you want that makes you feel good and doesn't hold you back in your happiest, feelings and your happiest like emotions and your, like just making you feel whole, like you do you. You want to have 10 kids, and just work, whatever job, and that makes you happy. Those kids are your life. Fuck, that's fucking dope. Like I applaud people finding their happiness, but mine is very my hustle. Have you seen the movie Blades of Glory?
Sure.
With fucking Will Ferrell and
Napoleon Dynamite.
I always forget his real name.
Yeah.
But remember Will Ferrell's character at one point, he has this dope ass brush.
Oh,
And he's like, no exaggeration, I could not love a human baby more than I love this brush. Bro, like seriously, like I say that line all the time about my equipment. Like, no exaggeration, I could not love a human baby more than I love this camera. More than I love this mic. Like, and that, like, those are my babies. Like my close friends that like talk to me on a more frequent basis, like they know, like, that's the shit that gets me excited. That's the shit, like, I want to bait. Like, I just got a new camera this week. I'm like, oh, bro. I'm like, fucking, I feel like a daddy right now. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, I got to get it this memory card. I'm going to give it this, like, all these, like, things that are going to make that thing, like, the dopest thing. I don't know. But, like, that's what gets me excited. But I don't project my thoughts, my emotions, my desires, my path, my journey on anybody else. Just like, I don't let society do that to me. Like, if society is saying, this is what's going to make you a fulfilled person, right? Like you have to get a wife and you have to have, or, if you're gay, same-sex marriage, wife, husband, whatever your path is, like it doesn't matter. A partner, right? You need a partner, and then you need to have kids, and then you need to have this house, and then you need to get a house. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like now, when I was younger, I was like, oh, I want to have a house, I want to have a wife, I want to have kids, and blah, 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 whatever. Like now I don't even care to ever own a house. Like I definitely want to buy real estate on a business side. But I can't see myself even wanting to stay in one place forever. So I'm like, I'm cool just renting or owning property that I could also rent out and utilize in some way. I don't know, you know, but like for me, hustle, consistent new goals, like that gets me excited. And that's the thing that makes me feel fulfilled. But also I'm very blessed that I have a younger brother who was born when I was 18 that I'm super, super close with, that I give a lot of my time to, and I do a lot of things with him. Like even my close friends who are parents say that I'm a better parent than most parents they know, just because of how much I give to my little brother.
So do you think he's feeding that?
100%. I feel like if he wasn't there,
then maybe
I would probably have a stronger desire for like a family one day.
Yeah.
But like I get to be like an awesome parental.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like
you get to go home.
I get to go home. You know what I mean? And then like, here you go, mom. Here's my little brother.
Yeah.
But like, oh, I'm going to take him 3 days from now to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to work on this project with him. I'm going to teach him this. Like, it's cool.
So, and why I wanted to ask you again, because I wanted them to know that these are the things you're going to struggle with when you're trying to find your path in life. It's very easy to, I feel it's very easy to not try to find your path.
Yeah.
But I think I think artists in general are trying to find that thing that they don't even know what it is, but they have a feeling that they're searching for something that they can't find. And you can't define it until you had it. And even then it's like, what do I do with that?
Yeah.
So being an artist is as fun as it is punishing. Because it's not always dope to be an artist. It's not always
being an
easy.
artist sucks balls.
It's pretty bad.
Fucking hell. It's fucking stressful.
Yeah.
But it's also awesome as fuck and feels amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy,
the
bro.
The sense of creating something out of nothing is an enjoyment that I cannot match, and that I've tried to match it with. Because as an artist, not only do you have all the pressures from regular life, you also have the added pressure of your art knocking on your head saying, hey, when are we going to do this?
Yeah.
Hey, get up. Besides your work, besides your mom, besides your regular social pressures, you have the added pressure of something you don't know what it is, keeps telling you get up and do it. Yeah. And you're like, okay, well, what is it?
When you do it, and it doesn't go to the place you hope it goes to, then you feel like fucking
devastating, right?
Fuck, man. All that hard work, all this, and I'm still fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it again.
Yeah.
All right. Next one.
Yep.
And then it's like, it's terrible, but it's amazing. It's so fucking exciting, but it's also like, fuck, do I want to do this? That's
why some of the funniest people in the world are the most tormented people in the world.
Yeah.
Robin Williams killed himself, bro.
It's fucking crazy.
And to me, that is still the biggest kind of reflection on somebody who seemingly was... I mean,
you see him from an outside perspective as like a happy person that makes people happy, and he always looks like he's smiling.
He was obviously tormented by something. Here's a man who brought endless cheer to family and fans and all this stuff. People love that dude, man. The stand-up world was like, Robin Williams was like one of the best stand-ups ever. Acting, forget about it. All right, from comedic actor to serious actor, he conquered all these things, and then he still did not see a reason to continue living. And I think that's important to talk about when you're saying, I'm going to walk down the artist path in life. Well, be careful, bro, because it's not easy and it's dangerous, and you might never get to where you think you're walking to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to just be weary of the decisions you make on your path to find out where you're going in life.
And I think it's very important that people need to find their personal balance. Like, I don't know Robin Williams. Like, I don't know what his personal life was like and how much he did for himself or did not do for himself. But like a lot of people that end up becoming, that have the limelight on them, it's very demanding of them, right? They have to consistently give and give and give, right? The people are like asking the this or that, like, and it's make other people happy, make other people smile, which is an amazing gift to be able to do, but it's also extremely taxing and draining for people. And I think not enough people are taught or helped on how to refill themselves, right? Like they give, like they're giving all their water away to other people, but then who's filling up their cup? You know what I mean? And or how are they getting their cup filled, right? It doesn't even have to be an external person. It could just be something else that person does for themselves. So like You have to find something to make yourself happy or that makes you feel good. Because if you don't, then you're just draining yourself. And I think that's what happens with a lot of people, not just celebrities or artists, but I think people don't do enough for themselves. They get so used to not like, oh, I'll take care of me later. Oh, right now I don't have time. I don't have, or it becomes work to some people to make themselves happy, to go do something for themselves, right?
And you get thrown this thing of selfishness. Like, you're selfish if you try to make yourself happy. Like, you should always be doing it for other people. And
but no,
there's nothing better than
you
working.
are also important.
And that's something that I personally struggle with. Like, finding importance in myself is really hard for me sometimes. Like, we've had this conversation about, certain things that I'm going through, and it's like, I don't see me mattering as much as the next person. And that's an issue that I have dealt with my entire life. And no one's ever said, like, you don't matter. Like, you're not important. No one's ever told.
You just do that to yourself.
Inside, I've always felt that way. I don't know why. I've always felt like, oh, the person doesn't really want to talk to me. Like, they don't really want to hang out. They don't really want, like, that's not what they want. Like, that's not what, you're not, why would they want to do that with you? Like, why is that? And that's something that you're right. I think if we all were able to talk about it more, if it was all like, hey man, taking care of yourself is important.
Yeah.
It's probably the most important thing you can do so that you can have a better life and other people in your life can enjoy you at your best or at your better than what you were when you were sad or down.
Yeah.
And it's important I think to say it again, bro, like, you matter as a person.
Yeah.
You are important. Your happiness matters no matter who you are, no matter where your state in life is. If you should, but this is coming from someone who spends a lot of time by himself, right? From you.
Yeah. Like, I'm super social. I love being around people, but I also love my me time, and I love not being around people. I'm like, it's like a big duality with me, where it's like, I can go and be the fucking super hyped up, get people hyped up, turn up the party, all that, have high energy and be around a shitload of people. But then, like, I also like my days where I'm just by myself, just like playing video games, chilling, working on my own stuff, like, which
leads me to my next question. What inspires the Hyphenate? Where do we find this inspiration?
Everywhere, man. Honestly, like, so much inspires me. Like, if I see someone doing good, that gets me hyped. Like, fuck, I could do better too. All right, let me go do this. And it could be shit that has nothing to do with my personal path. Just someone excelling is awesome. I like seeing good people thrive. But that also motivates me to, like, okay, I need to step my game up. Also, like, the idea of what I can do for people. Like, when I make someone feel good through my art, or through when someone talks to me and I can give them a bit of my time, and it motivates them or inspires them, like, all those things, like, they feed me back. So, like, I'm just inspired by, like, life, bro. It sounds like corny and, like, so, like, cliche, but it's facts, man. Like
so there's no one source that you maybe find yourself going back to more often than the other sources?
No, I don't think there's one source, but I will say that, like, if you've ever taken any personal development courses, or any, like, if read any books on personal development, anything like that, that's like self-help, wealth, mental wealth, stuff like that, something that's very important is, like, the repetition of being around motivating people or motivating environments. And so a lot inspires me. People, art, my personal goals, a TV show, a movie, a fucking anything can inspire me. But, like, in order to stay motivated, I also consume a lot of motivational content.
Like, directly motivational?
Yeah.
Like, meant to motivate you?
Or artistic content that also helps either generate ideas or teach me something that I can then apply to my art.
Interesting.
So like, anything that's motivational or productive, I consume. So, like, every day I'm watching, or like, whether it's a YouTube tutorial, whether it's a motivational,
like a TED Talk or
like
something
a TED
like
Talk
that.
or a podcast or something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm constantly consuming motivation and accomplishment. Like, those two things somehow
you're processing them through your system somehow.
Yeah, and whether it's, like, my personal path or something related to my path, like, I'm consuming. So, like, I follow certain motivational people, I watch a bunch of, I subscribe to certain people on YouTube that like put out content that is artistic or that teaches or that inspires. Like I just like, so I think like aside, like I said, there's no one source that motivates or inspires me. I'm literally motivated and inspired by so much. But the thing that definitely helps is being around motivational content or motivational people or motivational environments. So like I have to I have to consistently consume a video of something or a podcast or some audio, something where someone's like doing stuff. Like, I love people that become successful. I love like listening to their interviews about how they became successful or about the struggles and then how they overcame them, or you know, watching a behind the scenes of how something became successful or how this project got finished. Like that shit gets me hyped. Like documentaries of like The Last Dance, right? Like that Michael Jordan documentary got me every episode got me hyped. I was like, and I'm not a basketball player, but it's how you interpret.
But watching somebody with that type of drive is...
And not just Jordan, but like the other players or the other this or the that, or like how certain people integrated together for something greater. Like just like you can not manipulate, you can interpret so many different things that are focused on a specific category, but really like there's a message that's a universal truth that underlies it. You know what I mean? That can apply to yourself.
It goes to what I always tell people is like, think about it like food. If you eat junk food all day, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What you're processing, what's coming out.
That's how you're gonna feel.
Yeah, that's exactly how you're gonna feel. And it also comes to like when you consume stuff that's not food, like thoughts, ideas, visions, imagery through your head, your body is
100%
processing these thoughts.
If you're hanging around lazy people or doing lazy behaviors, you're gonna just be lazy.
When they say put up an image board. Okay, the idea behind that is if you're staring at success more often than you're staring at not success or not successful, it will motivate you to want to be more successful. So when you see that Lamborghini up in your board, it just tells you, oh, that's achievable, it's attainable, and that's kind of where I want to go. Instead of just seeing an old bucket up there, you're going to pick up on the same thing. Yeah, it's so important to consume. If you're an artist in the music industry, it is super important to consume positive music. And I don't mean like uplifting music, just music that's well done, well put together, because as an artist, you will pick up on that. Yeah. You will register to that. And then you'll try to somehow match how good that song is. Yeah,
and not in the exact same where you mimic their sound, but like the quality or
the quality.
Anything like, and you can be inspired. Like I'll listen to a song one day that has nothing to do with hip hop, and I'm like, oh man, like I should interpret that in some way. And like now, like I love 80s music. Sometimes I hear like an 80s song, I'm like, oh man, that synthesizer sounds so fucking dope. Now I want to make a beat with that, and then I'll make something that's hip hop or something that's not, and I'll make my own art, something original, something different, something mixed, whatever. But like really being open-minded to life in general. Like it doesn't have to just be the one thing that you're focusing on. You can get inspiration, motivation from all over the place. But yeah, what you consume is ultimately how you're going to feel. Yeah. And I try to consume mostly productive or motivating content.
To find a source of inspiration, it's not that hard if you want to be inspired. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking to be inspired, you can find motivation in almost anything that you look at, right? Because someone somewhere thought of this right here and made it come true. Right. This was somebody's dream and vision one day. Right. You can find inspiration in this board right here and be like, this is dope. Someone sat there, created it, designed it, put it together. You know what? I can do whatever I'm into and I can do the same. And it's so important if you're going to walk down the artist life to find motivation anywhere you can and everywhere you can, because sometimes you're going to be unmotivated. Sometimes you're going to get failures. You're going to get no's. You're not going to get booked on that show you wanted. You're going to get booked on the show and you're going to suck that night for whatever reason. And you need to be able to get back up and be like, all right, well, let me put myself through this all over again.
When it comes to the journey, resilience is like the most beneficial trait that you can have. Like if you don't have resilience, you're going to quit and you're not going to see it through. I've fucked up performances before. I've made shitty beats. I've written some not so dope bars. I've delivered some bad recordings. I had to go over and record again. Like I've entered contests where I've lost, many contests that I lost.
Yeah.
I just constant failures on my journey. But it's like, as much as they can be frustrating or they can kind of piss you off a little bit, ultimately, like, my mindset has always been like, well, you find a way. There's like, there's always a way. And if it didn't work, fucking analyze, figure out how to make it work. How can I make it better? Like, for me,
where did I go wrong? And let me fix that.
Yeah. And there are also times where I'm like, man, that was dope. And I feel like that should have, that deserves some shine. But I also understand that nobody owes me shit. So like, okay, well, even though I still to this day think that could have been something that should have won or that should have been appreciated or whatever, like, my emotional attachment to it means nothing. Let me make the next thing. And I'm just going to keep creating. Eventually, I'm going, like, even though some of them might be masterpieces that people might not discover yet, if I keep grinding, I keep creating, like, it's like throwing a dart, right? Eventually, you're going to fucking hit that bullseye if you throw a fucking million of them, right?
Sure.
Even if you suck balls, but you keep fucking trying, your technique will improve, whatever, and your probability gets higher.
Yeah.
And you still might not be able to fucking stick that bullseye every time.
Yeah.
But you'll be more likely, your probability will go higher that you will eventually hit that shit. And when you do, you have that hustle, that work ethic to, when it does stick, can you consistently keep going in that direction?
Right.
You know what I mean? Can you get closer? Can you stick around that area and capitalize, you know? So like for me, I have some pieces of art that I've created that I feel like one day people are going to look back and I'm like, yo, that shit was pretty dope. But for whatever reason, some of those pieces of art that I've created have not got its shine. But eventually I'm going to make something that is going to be fucking undeniable. Eventually I'm going to make enough noise that it's undeniable for people to be like, nah, he's not that dope. Like, what the, no, like, eventually it's going to be like, it's going to be recognized.
Sure.
But as much as I feel like it should be now, or it should have been a year ago or 5 years ago, whatever, like,
that's not up to you to decide, right?
No.
And that's the hard part. You could drop what you consider to be
the dopest shit ever to you.
Because emotionally it is. Emotionally, it checks all the boxes. Okay.
And sometimes it is. So, like, there are many talented, and not just me, but there are many talented people that are way more talented than a lot of people that are thriving right now.
Yeah.
But so it's like Stone Cold Steve Austin has said this. It's a combination of talent and luck. You got to have the talent, but you got to get lucky. This isn't these industries of entertainment, of, you know, things of art forms. You have to just be at the right place at the right time, but at the same time back it up with luck. I mean, with skill, because if you have skill and you don't have the luck, then you got to keep trying. When the luck comes and you don't have skill, you're going to fade out real quick, or it's not going to continue. But when your lucky day comes and you have talent and skill or substance to continue it, then that's where you have that longevity.
Yeah. But, it's exactly what you said, but I will say this, be in the fucking building. Be in the building. Yeah. Be lucky. You're not going to get lucky at home sitting on your couch.
Facts.
Be in the building.
The luck comes from being proactive.
Exactly.
Like, you put yourself in situations where your probability is higher.
Exactly.
Like, if you want to get discovered by Dr. Dre, if you are not putting out content and trying to find ways to get content around his people, around him, around, you know, his environments, like, nobody, like, how's it going to get to him?
Yep.
So you will get lucky eventually if you hustle hard enough, because you might meet one person that knows someone that's connected.
And I'm telling people,
but you have to be proactive, like you're saying.
That's the only way that I've seen the level of success that I've reached. The minimal, what it is I was in the building.
Yeah.
Like I was out there. I was putting the interviews out. I was doing it, and then I got lucky when someone said, "Hey, I've heard this show before. He's cool. Let him in."
Right.
Oh, boom, luck. But I was in the building, and my hustle got me to the place to where luck is now taking that step over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was luck, but the probability was already higher.
So
because
being
of
dope.
What you did.
Don't come at me with that.
That means nothing.
Exactly. It means nothing.
Unfortunately, it means nothing.
Yeah, it means nothing but to you, right?
Yeah.
Outside of that, no one cares if you're dope or not. The luck is where you're going to really where that next step is going to take you. And that's important to understand, because it's so frustrating to put out all this other good stuff, all this good stuff, and then not get lucky.
Yeah.
But the luck is going to come when you just continue to put out good stuff. Like you're saying, when you have 20,000 darts, one of those darts is going to hit.
Yeah.
100%. Dude, this is what I'm talking about. And this is why I wanted to do it. But let's circle a little bit back and start before the final segment. I wanted to touch base on a couple topics with you.
Yeah.
What do you miss the most since the pandemic started? Like, what is it that you've wish you could still be doing, or what do you,
art-wise or just life-wise?
just in general, like, what do you have one thing like, fuck this pandemic, man?
I mean, events were fucking dope. Like, whether it was me performing, like I had shows that I was supposed to perform at that got canceled. Being able to do certain activity, like, okay, one of the biggest ones for me is music videos. Like, a lot of times I film my music videos in like public locations, you know, like I did my cat and mouse music video at this bar restaurant, right? Or whatever. And I had all these I have certain music videos that are still like on the back burner right now, where like they require to be like in a cafe, or they require to be in a, like more public settings. Having all this shit closed down, like, has been a buzzkill on some of that part of my creativity, of being able to do these more creative, elaborate videos with bigger groups of people. It's harder to get stuff like that now. One, a lot of places are fucking closed now. But two, like, there are so many rules and regulations in place now with like masks and COVID tests, like things that are make it harder for me as an independent artist to make happen. So like on a creative level, that's something that I can't wait till things go back to normal, so I can go back to being creative with, like, a lot of people too, aside from places, like certain people are like still very panicky about it, and that's fine. Like, I'm not knocking that at all. But like, you know, I haven't been able to work with certain people, or because of, again, the COVID stuff, people scared of being around more people, you know, having groups, you know, being close proximity, things like that. So that's been a buzzkill on the creative stuff. On a personal level, as like on life outside of just the art, similar, just like, I hate fucking wearing masks, bro. I fucking hate it. So I don't go to a lot of places now because I respect the fact that that's what's required, but I don't want to fucking do it. So I just won't go. And so there are a lot of things I don't fucking do because I'm like, this is fucking, like, there's a thing for Halloween that I might do. It's like this haunted maze in Orange County that's still going to be popping. But it's like all, like, you have to wear a face mask and that shit.
On
like,
top of your costume mask?
Well, you don't have to go in a costume. You're the maze. Like,
okay, I see.
So it's like, you can be in costume or not, it doesn't matter. But like, you're just going in as a guest, like a haunted maze. But I have to wear a mask, which makes like the screaming and the yelling, like, you know, just like that. I just fucking hate the mask. It's a fucking buzzkill. And then I read that all the characters that are in this haunted maze have to wear a face mask too, like an N95 mask. So I'm wondering if like that N95 mask gets in the way of their dope ass outfit. Like, now it's gonna make their costume or their character instantly not be realistic.
So there's gonna be a guy with a Jason mask, the hockey mask, and he's gonna have a mask on top of that.
Or like a zombie, but they gotta, like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
why does a zombie care if it gets a virus? Isn't it already dead? What the fuck is happening?
So like shit like that. I miss that. I just want things to go back. I want to go to fucking Disneyland. That shit's closed. Fucking, I have a pass to the Six Flags. You know, the theme park, you know, all these roller coasters.
So what are they doing with that? Are you getting your money back, or are you just...
With Six Flags, they're still charging me, and I could have put a stop to it, but I just got lazy and didn't do it. But they sent me an email saying that if I don't cancel my account, anything that they charge me for when they do open up, they'll give me a gift card for use for like you know, merch or food or anything like that. And then food, it's probably
once they do open,
all that money that I've spent throughout these months, they'll give me a gift card. So I just use it on food.
Okay,
so it's like no big deal, but. Yeah, on the pandemic stuff, like, it's just that, like,
this year has been crazy.
It's been a fucking shit show, bro.
This has been a crazy year, but, you know, I think things are finally starting to wind down. One of them being the election coming up in, like, what is it?
Oh, bro, that shit is so frustrating.
Where do we stand here? What are our thoughts?
I don't give a fuck about the election.
You don't vote?
I normally do. This is like the first year
where you're not going to vote?
I'm not gonna fucking vote.
In like the one election everyone should vote and you're just not going to vote.
I am not a Biden supporter whatsoever.
Okay.
And I'm not a Trump supporter whatsoever.
Okay.
I personally disagree with the voting for the lesser of two evils. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like I actually just posted up today on Instagram and Twitter and all that shit.
Uh-huh.
Like I just did because the thing that's really upsetting to me right now is how shitty people are being to one another based on who they want to vote for.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's too much tension, people arguing. It's all like divisive shit with social media
Which
right now.
is true in most elections, but I think in this one
Right
in
now, it's so
particular,
hostile.
it's hostile. But I will say this: this is the one election where, like the last election, I didn't want to. I'm not getting my hands dirty with this one. Like Hillary or Trump, like I was not voting for either one of these. Like I was listen.
I feel like we're in the
I'm
same
gonna
boat
wash
again.
my hand on this. I don't feel that that's the case this election, and I don't feel that it's the lesser of two evils. It's like the obvious, terribly, just horrible way that the country's been running the last 4 years, and then the possibility of somehow maybe fixing some of that. So I don't want a repeat. I don't want to have to live with another 4 years of people just thinking they could be assholes because they're white or because the guy that's running things is a representative of their prejudice or their whatever it is. I'm tired of that.
I agree.
I miss the days when there was fucking dignity in being racist. Like be racist in your house, inside. Don't fucking tell me. Don't wear a hat that says you're racist. I don't want to hear that shit. I miss the America where we could be like, listen, I'm gonna wear this mask and I'll poke holes in it. Okay, cool. I don't know. I don't want to know that it's Todd from the fucking warehouse. I'm tired of that's what upsets me about people that are assholes, Hyphenate, is that the people that are just fucking blatant with their assholeness. Cool. Listen, I'm sure Obama was corrupt to all corruption. I'm sure. But he was decent enough to not fucking let me know about it. To not tell me about it. That's what I miss in politics.
That's
this
funny.
a brazen act of fuck you, I'm this way, and you're gonna like it, and you're gonna vote, and your supporters like, yeah, that's the guy I want. I'm tired of that. I miss the decency of just fucking mellowing out and not having to worry about what the president said today, what the president tweeted, what the fucking president tweeted today. I would like a week where I don't have to see that on the news, Hype. And for that alone, we need somebody else. And
I could definitely agree with that.
yes. I'm tired of it, dog. I am tired of having to look at my phone and
Trump
be like, oh.
is a poor representation of someone that should be running our country. Someone that represents us. His behavior, the way he talks, how demeaning he is, like he's a fucking asshole and he's embarrassing.
Yes.
100%. I still am not a supporter of Biden. So I don't give a fuck who wins. To me, with Biden, man, I don't know if anybody has seen this. It's so disturbing to me, bro. It's so disturbing. He's fucking disgusting with little kids, bro. Have you seen the videos?
I know what you're talking about.
Have you seen the videos?
I know what you're talking about, but with the thing that I'm gonna lean it out to until I get further true evidence is this is just old dude behavior. It's just like this is an awkward old guy trying to be nice to a kid, and it's like
I don't know,
it's
bro.
super weird. Yes.
Okay, look, I don't know. So I'm not saying he's a fucking pedophile.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. But on videos of him in public has been very grabby, very touchy with little girls in very disturbing ways. Like nothing has been as far as like him fucking raping or doing anything super sexually explicit,
right?
But he's been touchy enough that
it's awkward.
It's not even awkward to me.
It sets off some alarms.
Bro, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
No, I'm with you.
It makes me feel uncomfortable.
And there's nothing worse than.
So what I'm saying though is, if he's doing that in public, like, what the fuck is he doing not in public? Bro?
I don't think he's having kids over his house to do worse to them. What I'm saying to you is this: yes, and there's nothing worse than crimes against children. I'm with you. But there's nothing that Biden like that Trump is not doing or hasn't done to adult women. This is Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, bro. Don't tell me there was nothing. Okay, so at least with Trump, I have proof that here's a fucking pedophile that throws pedophile parties, and I'm partying with him.
I'm not saying he hasn't.
Okay, see what I'm saying. There's nothing.
I never spoke positively of Trump either. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, but this is the president. And I don't want my president to have had a personal relationship with a known pedophile that threw pedophile parties.
I also don't want my
so for
president
that
touching
alone,
little
I'm
girls.
gonna. Yes, but there's no proof of that.
There's proof.
There's a video of super awkward touching and hugging from an old guy to a strange kid. I get that. But there's not proof like there's actual video and recordings of Trump being on the island and like him dancing. That is proof that my president at some point was hanging out with pedophiles. That is legitimate, undisputable proof.
Facts.
For that reason alone, I don't want this guy in the fucking presidency for the next 4 years.
Biden never went.
And for that alone, I think you should vote in this election one way or the other. Because it is going to be probably the most important election.
I honestly feel it's likely that they were both at the island at the same time. Him and Biden.
Just high-fiving each other and shit.
Bro, most of these fucking politicians that are on opposing sides, right? The super extreme, like, the right and the left, whatever. Most of them fucking hang out.
Yeah.
Have been seen hanging out.
I bet you Trump and Biden have never hanged out in their lives.
I'm not saying that they were hanging out, but I'm saying I wouldn't doubt if Biden was on that island too at some point.
But I don't know. I don't have proof of that. What I do have proof is that the current president was. That I have proof. And for that alone, you should vote. You should vote that fucker out.
What I'm
and
saying,
the only thing you can do is vote for the guy that you don't.
What I think we should do is everybody should vote for Joe Jorgensen.
Listen, I was a Yang fan. I thought Andrew Yang should have been.
Yes.
Because alone from being a completely different perspective of every single president we've ever had, that alone, a super smart, intelligent businessman as the president, that's the guy I want. That's what I'm saying. I'm with you, but those are not my choices. My choices right now is Biden, and my choices right now is Trump.
I don't like either choice.
Okay, so you're not gonna dirty your hands with either one.
I'm not gonna support either of them.
Okay.
That's it. I'm just not supporting.
Yeah.
So if I do vote, I'm voting for Joe Jorgensen.
You're gonna write that in?
No, she's on the ballot.
Is she?
Yeah, she's on her party.
What party is?
She's like, what is she? Green Party? I forget what party she's on.
Oh, I did see Kanye on the ballot.
You could write him in.
No, he's on the ballot.
No, I know.
I'm
not voting for Kanye.
This is America. This is the America where Kanye West thinks because he's rich,
last election, I did not vote for Trump or Hillary either. I voted for Gary Johnson, the Libertarian Party.
Okay.
The year before that, the election before that, I also voted for Gary Johnson. I do not want to vote for the lesser of two evils. If I don't like either candidate, I'm not going to vote.
Okay. I respect that. I respect that. But the only reason I bring it up is because these are truths that we have to deal with in our everyday life.
Real quick, just to end this topic.
Yeah.
This is what I wrote today.
Okay. Let's hear it.
It is very simple. I don't care if you're voting for Trump or voting Biden. What I care about is your character. So long as you respect others and don't hurt anyone, you do as you please. We can disagree and still be good human beings to each other.
I 100% wish that were true. I wish more people thought that way.
You don't think it's true that people can be good to each other?
Yes, but I don't think that in this particular election.
I don't know. I have a lot of people on my Facebook that are voting Trump, and it's not because he's a good human being. It's because his policies favor them.
Exactly. So you're not voting for the best of everyone. You're voting because he shares your prejudice or he represents it.
Their policies are for the best of people.
Of them. No. Not for every dude. There's no way they think that his policies are good for immigrant children. There's no way. There's no way.
Okay. I don't want to go around in circles with them, but I will say this: the immigrant children thing of being put in cages, Obama did that.
Yeah, does it mean you got to continue it and it's okay?
No. But I'm saying nobody ever mentions that.
Okay.
So what I'm saying,
you know why? Because he wasn't an asshole about it, and he didn't fucking say we are separating them at the border. He was decent enough to be like, look, man, this is. See what I'm saying?
But you said earlier, even like, I don't want to know the corrupt shit they're doing. But for me, I don't even accept the things I don't know.
Okay.
Like if you're doing shady shit, I don't support you whatsoever. I don't give a fuck how likable you are on TV.
Yeah.
How charming you are. What the fucking, how nice you seem across fucking the mass media.
Hyphenate this idea of so Obama started it. Yeah, but Trump's been president for 4 years, bro. Right? He could have very quickly and simply ended it the minute he got in office.
And that's how I felt about Obama with a lot of things that Bush did that Obama said he wouldn't do. And then Obama did them and extended a lot of those policies that I totally disagreed with. I honestly feel it's going to be the same thing here. These presidents, it's an illusion of choice. The Republicans and the Democrats, they're two sides of the same coin. To me, it's bullshit. whole country needs to revamp and fucking.
I agree. The two-party system seems stupid.
You know what we should do is
Yeah.
fucking reform our government. That's what the fuck we need to do.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that there is no legitimate possibility for any of the other parties to get exposure or even be on the fucking public debates, like on the big debate.
The fact that Bernie
shit,
Sanders had to quit twice because he knew
see,
even with his following he wasn't going to get on the ballot to that is ridiculous. This is a guy who tried twice with the same thing he did the last time.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm an independent.
Yeah.
I'm not a part of any party. The fact that the Democrats sabotaged 2 elections in a row already, Bernie Sanders, who would have for sure beaten Trump, for sure, who was a Democrat. The Democrats fucked him over to get Hillary and then Biden. There's some fishy shit going on there that's fucking horseshit.
Yeah.
Why the fuck? If you really cared to beat Trump, why the fuck would you not elect a person that most of the...
Because you got to be the one to beat him.
Whoever like there's something going on the Democratic Party, dude, that's on some shady shit.
Politics is corrupt,
and that's
almost
why,
at its core.
For me, I'm not supporting either one of them.
Yeah,
there's just shady shit on both sides that I don't agree with, or their behavior traits that I don't like on either
but
side.
You're never gonna get an ideal candidate. You're never gonna get a guy that's not super involved in politics.
If you're a good human being and you want to vote Trump, I respect it.
Yeah.
If you're a good human being and you want to vote Biden, I respect it. If you're a good human being and you want to vote Kanye, I respect it.
Yeah.
Just be a good fucking human being to people. That's all I care about.
Let's, from the Hyphenate people, from the Hyphenate. I like the way you think, Hyph. And to get to know you a little deeper, there's the final segment, which we haven't done since your original appearance on the show.
2014?
I want to say like 6 years ago.
I think it was 6 years ago.
It's something I like to call 12 rounds.
Okay.
So the way it works is I'm going to ask you 12 questions.
Okay.
Each more difficult than the last question.
Right.
If you answer all 12 questions honestly, you're the champion. You walk away with the belt. Wake the flock up, hypothetical belt.
All right.
I don't have a real belt. If you cannot answer the question or you will not answer the question, you will be knocked out. Think about it like a boxing match.
Okay.
I will win and I get that hat you're wearing.
All right.
Deal?
Deal.
Okay. Hyphenate. Round number 1.
Okay.
What is your favorite part about your craft?
Limitless creativity. I can create whatever the fuck I want. I could make, EDM music. I could do straight hip hop. I could make 80s music. Whatever I want to do, whatever I'm feeling inspired to do, I can do it.
So, and this is not the second, but so you how do you view yourself, Hyph? That's another thing I wanted to get like a grasp on you. Are you an MC that also produces and makes music, or are you a producer who MCs and also makes films? Like, how do you view yourself?
I am an eagle with the head of a black bear or a lion. I just see myself
and a 12-inch cock.
I'm just a free person that doesn't believe in boundaries. And I like to live life to the fullest. So I don't like let myself be put into any boxes. If I want to create something that other people don't care for, if I want to do it, I'm going to do it. If I want,
so you won't even let yourself put yourself in a box.
No,
that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
I'm with that. Round number 2. What is your least favorite part about your craft?
Social media. It's exhausting. Like I like connecting with people. Like that's dope. But like, I don't do enough of it, and I should do more. But I don't like doing it, which is one of my biggest crutches in what I do.
So you don't like that social media is a pivotal part of having.
Yeah, the amount that you have to post up, and not only that, like how fake social media is. Like you have to really just be like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's exhausting. I do love attention on some real shit. Like that shit's dope. I don't mind attention, but like the obligation to ask for attention is like exhausting. Like I just want to create more than I want to do fucking posts,
And if you work hard enough, you'll get to a point where you will drop something and it will get those million views without you have to get there, right?
Definitely.
That's I think ultimately the goal.
Yeah, but I just don't like how fake it is and how much you have to do it.
It's crazy. No, I'm with you. Round number 3, if you could collaborate with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Let me see. My favorite MC of all time is Eminem. So I would love to do a song with Eminem, as well as Slug from Atmosphere. That would be dope too.
On what level?
On a song.
No, but as a producer, as an MC, like how would you like to collabo with these artists?
For sure, on a song, like rhyming. Like I'd love to have a verse and them have a verse. If I could if I could produce the beat as well, like that would be dope. But for me, I'd rather make a song verse wise. So like, let's say for example, I collaborated with Eminem and Dre made the beat. I don't give a fuck about the beat. You know, I don't care about making my own beat. Fuck it.
Because now you can have the claim that you've been on a Dre beat.
Yeah, or same with Atmosphere, right? If I did a song and Ant produced it, and like I don't need to be the producer, but I definitely, if I had to pick like production or rhyming, I would love to collaborate rhyming. Like me have my verse, they have their verse.
And not to speak ill of Slug, but like having an M verse, that's a tall order. As in like that verse better be fucking top notch.
Oh,
bro,
for sure,
because
for sure.
he's not playing, bro.
That's one of the That's one of the goals.
Yeah,
that's one of the goals. So
dude,
when it happens, run the shit back.
I'm with you on that one. Round number 4. What are you most proud of?
Most proud of. I mean, there are a lot of things I'm very proud of, to be honest. I'm proud of I always feel proud when I finish a project, like whether it's an individual song or a music video. Like I usually don't put things out unless I feel really good about them. So most of the time I'm proud of that, like at a high level. But I think I'm most proud of moments when I've made other people, when I've had a positive impact on someone's life. So whether it's like my music inspiring someone sending me a beautiful message about how it's helped them through a tough time, like that, that's what I would love to do on the largest scale possible. Like I can't wait till like I'm like worldwide, millions of followers, not just for like glorifying me and praise me. Like that shit doesn't really matter to me as much as like me being able to create content or some type of entertainment that makes people feel good. Like that's what I'm proud of. So when I've had those moments like that gets me hyped up. Like someone telling me that I've had a positive influence on them.
So whenever you've reached that level, you think that'll be what you're most proud of?
What's what I'm most proud of now, I think I would say
that you've known to have done that for people already?
I've had moments like that already with individuals where people have already messaged me about how impactful or how much
this song got me through this, or this video was
and
this.
Like, so that's a beautiful feeling to me. So like that's something I definitely like. It's important to me long term.
Sure.
Like I want to continue to do that for people and do that on a bigger scale.
Right.
But yeah, like that makes me feel really good because that's like I live my life for myself, but also others, where like I really want to do the things that I want to do that make me happy, but I also want to leave a positive impact on the world, on humanity, even past my art.
Right.
So
dope. Round number 5. What are you least proud of?
Least proud of? Probably some of my older projects that weren't that good. Like, looking back now, I'm like, eh. But in those moments,
does one
I felt
come into mind? Like, when you're just like,
well, that's part of progress though. Like you don't get good unless you suck for a while, and so like, I'm sure 5 years from now, I'm looking at stuff that I did this year that I'm like, oh, that could have been so much better.
But nothing comes to mind of what makes you the least prideful
proud? Least proud of specific thing? I don't know. I guess the least proud would be, I don't know. I've dropped a couple music videos that I just did just to drop content, but I did not feel good about the video. And I was just like, it could have been so much better, but I felt I needed to drop content. Again, that social media pressure. So those
products in general is like,
that's what I'm like. Yeah. Okay. And so there's some of them I've taken them off YouTube. Yeah. So I was pretty not proud of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Round number 7. Doing pretty good, bro. Doing pretty good. Round number 7. Who would you take a bullet for?
My little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just without question.
Without question. Yeah.
I got it. Round number 8. Who would you let that bullet hit? Now,
same answer.
Disclaimer. Hold on.
6 years ago.
I'm not saying Hyphenate shoot someone. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, there's a bullet flying through the sky,
and I can dodge it like the Matrix.
And you know it's coming, but you just don't jump in front of dude for it. Who would you just be like, you know what? I'm totally cool with that dude getting shot. Like who would you let that bullet hit?
You want a specific person in my life?
I
mean, anybody that hurts.
Who would you let that bullet hit?
Any rapist. Anybody that's abused a child or anything like that. Just terrible people like that.
Whoever produced that Netflix film that we were talking.
Oh, the fucking the cuties one or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. People are that just it like.
There is evil in the world that escapes me, bro. Like I can't wrap my mind around. I can't comprehend.
Me neither.
You driving your vehicle to go do this. Like I can't understand the person who willingly gets up, goes looking to do this, and then like, bro, like, because you gotta go to sleep. At some point, you're alone with yourself, and you gotta go like, oh, today I did this. And it escapes me how you could live with yourself or how you can continue to willingly hurt people in such a drastic, horrific way.
I don't understand, man. Like that's probably the thing that upsets me most in this world is anything that harms children. Like taking the innocence from people or abusing or taking advantage. Like it is. I don't understand, bro. Like it's so horrendous to me. And the fact that people are not held more accountable at extreme, like I feel like shit like that, people should be at the extreme. Like we should go back in time when it would like you cut off someone's hand for stealing. Like I'm not saying we do that for everything, but like anything that harms children or rapes or does anything like that, where you take something from someone's physical body or do like. No fucking passes. You get the extreme fucking maximum punishment all day, every day.
There should be there's minimums for drugs, so there should be minimums for hurting children. Like there should be, hey, you're gonna get 20 years,
bro. See, like
we're not fucking around here.
I don't even believe in fucking prison for that shit, bro. I'm a fucking public execution, bro. I don't give a fuck. If it's factually proven that you did something like,
if there's video, if there's if it's undisputable fact that this happened. I don't see, because the prison's not reforming you. You're just, at this point, there's no future for you. You just cannot bear an existence. I feel like anything like that, especially with children,
bro, is
unforgivable in any way, in shape.
Yeah. I don't care what, fuck that. Don't even give the option. Don't even fucking wait 20 years and give this person a fucking free place to live and food.
Just take that bullet. Let's get it over with.
Yeah, man.
I'm with you.
Fuck that.
Round number 9. Who would you never work with? In any capacity? Who would you just never work with?
Harvey Weinstein?
Well, he's dead. So
no, not Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, wait,
the movie producer.
Yeah. You wouldn't work with Weinstein?
Fuck no, bro. Anybody like that? No, fuck no. Again, anybody that rapes or takes advantage of people like that, like, nope.
I don't know, bro. I would blow Harvey Weinstein for a movie role. Like, I don't know that I wouldn't blow the dude for it.
Well, I'm not saying that you shouldn't blow him. I'm just saying, like, the fact that he took advantage, like, physically forced himself onto people, that's a no-go. Like,
did he? Is there like...
That's what some of the charges currently that he's facing are.
So that he raped, physically... Not that he offered for the role.
Yes, yeah. So, like, I definitely think it's sleazy for you to, like, use your power to be like, hey, if you want this role, you gotta sleep with me.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're not raping the person,
he's accused of rapes
right now. Some of the accusations, some of the charges are physically
forcing
himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I had assumed that it was all he was a sleazebag, so sexual. There's other. I'm sure there's laws and stuff, but they were all willing participants. I didn't know that.
See, when they're willing participants, like as much as it sucks that the industry's like that, like. There is.
Yeah, you didn't have to blow the dude, like, right?
Yeah,
in the beginning, a lot of the time, I
definitely feel that people should be held accountable for that. Like he should not
be fired.
He should not be allowed to be in power for stuff like that.
Sure.
Of course, like abusing power.
Yeah.
But like, I definitely think there is a difference between like forcing yourself on someone and using your power in a sleazy way.
Yeah.
Using your power in a sleazy way, you should lose your job. And definitely have some consequences for it. But like forcing yourself, like that's again back to that's not redeemable.
So Weinstein, you just.
Nope.
He calls you on the phone. He goes, Hyphenate.
What?
I got M and Slug, and they want to jump on this music video.
And we're going to make a movie out of it?
And we're going to make a film. We're going to do the background, but it's just going to be you, me, Slug, and M.
Couldn't do it.
Dre is producing it. It's already established.
My
Maybe
morals
Scott
are too
Scorch
strong,
is going to be on it.
Sometimes
you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes I hate being a good person.
We're going to put it up on fucking IMAX. It's going to be the biggest film in the world, bro. But I need you.
Nope.
Fly over to Epstein's Island with me. Biden just left. Trump is about to get there, bro. It's just popping, son. Come through. Let's do this.
Nope.
No, okay. I like it.
Couldn't do it, man. Couldn't do it.
You passed the test. Round number 10. Down 2 more rounds. End of the fight. We're going toe to toe. I like this. This is good. Round number 10. What is your biggest insecurity? What are you the most insecure about?
I'm not like super insecure, but I definitely when I'm not super in shape, I definitely and I hate when people do this to themselves when they're very critical about their appearance. But when I'm not super in shape, like I definitely don't care to be on camera as much, and I do like being on camera. I do like doing videos. So like sometimes I'm like, oh man, I can't film this video for another 2 weeks because I need to fucking get myself back ready.
Too much sodium or something.
Yeah, so like I get a little insecure about like how I look on camera when I'm not feeling the way I want to feel.
Yeah,
but that's ultimately my choice. So it's not like and it's something I can fix. You know, I just have to work out and be disciplined about eating, and like that's just me being a punk ass bitch for not fucking wanting to fucking work out, you know?
I hear you. I'm the same way a lot. I'd rather be heard than seen. I just feel I got. Plus, I don't.
I like to be seen, though, is what I'm saying.
Oh, you do? Okay,
yeah,
you're
I like
okay
being
with
on
the
camera.
scene. Oh, okay.
So sometimes I'm like, oh man, like I don't want to film this video yet.
Yeah.
And so like I'm like slightly insecure about how I look at that time frame. So I'm like, oh, I need to work on it.
Okay, so that has cross your mind when you're about to do things. You're like, maybe I don't look my best.
Yeah,
and that's when you feel
a lot of
you're
times.
most insecure. Okay.
Yeah. But it's not huge. Like it doesn't destroy me, and it doesn't get.
So then that's not your biggest insecurity. I need to know your
I think it's my biggest
insecurity.
because of how frequent it pops up in my mind.
So it is
like it's not destructive to me as a human being.
Yeah.
Like I don't let it get to that point where I'm like,
but it reoccurs a lot.
It recurs a lot. Yeah. Where like I'm like, oh man, like fuck, man, like. You know, like I'm very critical about myself and my appearance sometimes.
Okay, no, I'm with you. I respect that.
But I know my limits to like not let it be destructive and not like hurtful to my self-esteem. It's just me being aware of how I want my standard of my appearance to be.
Yeah.
But it pops up pretty often when I don't eat well.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, we all suffer from a little bit, but it could be some people do let it.
I'm a little bit more critical than myself than most people on that. All right. But I also don't give a fuck to work out. So it's like I'm the fucking problem, you know?
Round 11. Do you believe in God?
No.
Now, when I say God,
I don't believe there's any higher power.
You don't believe there's a physical being moving or controlling?
Nothing.
Okay, so what do we think is happening? Ultimate. What is the ultimate truth you think, Hyph?
This is one of those where I really know that I know nothing and I have like no opinion on it. Except for the fact that my opinion, I guess, is that things are just chance and it just happens. I just feel like things evolve, things grow, chemicals mix, or cells end up forming whatever. I think it's all chance and it's all just luck.
That does seem to be the case. I mean, if you were not a person of faith, right? I would say that does seem to be the case. That it's all randomized.
It just happens, like fucking.
But and this is a question that I personally don't try to focus on too much because I don't want to push people either one way or the other. I don't want my ideology to be like.
I agree. I never push my beliefs on other people.
Yeah.
I'm fully supportive of anybody's religion so long as it doesn't teach hate.
Yeah.
So long as you don't hurt anybody, you believe whatever you want to believe, and I support it fully. Like my mom, she's a Christian and she believes in God. When she asks me to pray with her, I pray with her. But
you personally,
I don't
think that there is a God.
I don't think I don't think there's anything. I think it just happens, and I don't think there's going to be a way for us to really know in this physical form what's beyond.
So you don't think there's an afterlife then?
I don't think so. I think when we die, we die. I think our consciousness and our intelligence is just a byproduct of our brain, of how evolved this human brain has formed. And
it speaks to the complexity of life, right? To how complex things really are, to where they... Okay, because if there is no God, then that means that at some point gases became beings, and you see what I'm saying? Like
things just happen. I think things mix and something gets created, and that's it.
Which is what happens every day in laboratories, right? Like they mix certain things and make this out of that. So ultimately, you do, but there is a almost.
I believe
a magic or something took place at some point where gases made you and me, bro. Like we are stars, and we are made out of the same things that
everything else is made of.
Everything else is
made of the same shit.
But their awareness, being able to think.
I think honestly that's just chance. I think that we are this aware because our brain has developed at this point, which took millions of years to form. And I think that there are many other extraterrestrials. I think there are other living beings across the universe.
You think there are other
100%. There
beings?
have to be. There's no possible way we're the only living beings. So like, and I think it's just also per case. There might be a planet where they only have single-celled organisms. There might be another planet in a different solar system or a different galaxy where there are beings that maybe don't look like us, but they look like something else, that whatever acclimates to that environment, but that has a brain more sophisticated than ours.
So
the ocean alone.
By that theory, then there has to be another planet somewhere where it has beings exactly like us then.
It's possible, but also not, because I think it's by environment, right? So like,
I'm saying there has to be a planet that is the exact same distance from its star that we are, and there has. But if you're just gonna go random, you can't apply laws to randomness, right? So by that theory, there has to be another planet where there is a Joey that looks just like you.
I don't know, because like you could have one island off the Pacific coast, but then have another island off the Atlantic coast, but then you have those slight differences of where they are.
Like gravity or the soil or whatever that affects the slightest difference.
Even that slight temperature difference between what's in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, right? Like just that slight difference will give entire different types of like animals that eat different things that are shaped differently. You know what I mean? So like,
pretty cool.
Even if there's another planet that's almost identical to how the distances of a single sun with a certain amount of planets that have the exact same gravitational pull effect that Earth has, like, we have, let's say there's another planet that's like our planet, but with 5 moons, that's going to drastically change the gravitational pull, you know what I'm saying? And those things might change how certain things form. So like, I don't know if there's an exact Joey out there that's fucking making beats and shit and talking on a podcast right now. It's possible that there are beings that are similar, but I also don't believe that there would be a person that could develop with the exact same mindset either. So like you would have, of course, like, similar traits or things like that, but
because you wouldn't share the same experience.
Exactly.
So it wouldn't be the same joke.
Exactly. So like,
but I will say this, and we'll move on to the last. There is, though, on this planet in particular, seems to be a lot of things that are just right. That is kind of suspicious. If you were studying it from far away, it'd be kind of suspicious that there isn't somebody or something moving things along.
I think that's because people want to feel special. Like, I think if you were to, the only reason people look at it like, oh, we are special because we are in the perfect place. But you're looking at it from it already happening, right? Not it like being an actual thing of intention. It's more of luck, right? Like if we were to be on another planet, let's say hypothetically a lot of our species goes to another planet because it's, we have that capability of travel, but then Earth becomes inhabitable.
So we get to Mars.
We get to
Elon
Mars,
Musk
right?
Gets us to Mars finally.
But let's say some shit happens and, fucking society has to kind of start from scratch out there and dealing with whatever they, acclimate out there with. Like, oh, well, we're so lucky that we are here. If we weren't, like this idea of special, like you are giving the meaning to it seems like there's a coincidence. It's so perfect that we are on Earth, but like, no, that's just what happens when things align for the growth, right? Like if you have, let's say like you ever did that experiment, like super early in like elementary or middle school, whatever, like you put like some fungus or some type of bacteria into a petri dish, but then you had to put it under a certain amount of light. And if you didn't, it would die. Or if you did like, like, and then you would see it grow, right? Like it's just like we place it there, right? Obviously, but like that thing is just a byproduct of it happening, whether and that was a choice that a person did to put it there, right? Like, but
what I'm saying is that,
like, I think it just happens because a bunch of other planets in this galaxy don't have the life that we have.
That's why it's special.
But we're making it seem like we are special because it was destined to be that way. I'm saying it just happens. Like if you go to another solar system where there's similar environments, like I guarantee you there are other lives.
People need a structure, so it's nice to think that they're part of a plan, that they're part of there is a somewhere that they're ultimately leading to. What the scary thing is just randomly walking into darkness, right? People liked the idea of like, oh, I'm going to keep walking and then I will get somewhere. Like there's some end point, because in the Bible there's a beginning and in the Bible there's an end to existence, right?
Well, most humans need a sense of purpose.
That's what I'm saying.
If you don't have a sense of purpose, then it's like,
I
what's the
will
point?
say this. I do think we need to start thinking about it in this perspective that I don't know that there's any aliens out there. That I don't know. I don't have any factual proof of that.
Okay.
What I do know is that we are on this planet.
Yeah.
And what I do know is that on the next surrounding 9 planets, there doesn't seem to be any life. So we should really start thinking about how dumb and stupid it is that we have wars, that we fucking nuke each other, that we do all these horrible,
I feel like most humans
seemingly things to each other.
I feel like most humans on this world should just like take some fucking like shrooms and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like some DMT, something to
we need to rethink the way we interact with each other, because as far as we do know, there is no other life out there.
Well, even if there is, there's nothing that we can do about it.
In this entire cosmos, yes, Chancellor Slim, but we are the only time where these gases did evolve to an intelligent life. Shouldn't that change the responsibilities we have for each other? Like, if this is the only place where life is existing right now, dude, the fact that we have wars and kill each other and rape each other, like,
it's stupid.
Way stupider. It's way worse than having to think, oh yeah, there's randomized life out there, right? I think we do need to start reviewing the fact that we might.
You seen the movie The Matrix?
Yeah, of course.
There's this fucking amazing scene where Agent Smith is telling Neo. He sits down with him. He's like, man, this
is the first Matrix?
The first Matrix.
Okay.
But Agent Smith tells Neo what revelation he had when he was trying to classify what humans are. And he said, humans are a parasite. Mm-hmm. You know, we take over, we multiply, we use all the resources until they're gone, and we go to another place. And I think like we just are, for the most part, a parasite with a conscious ability to correct our parasite behavior. Mm-hmm. And I do think there's a lot of beauty in this world because we have that ability. And I think there are some good people in this world. But I think by human nature is just to fucking consume, destroy, and make ourselves feel special to give purpose for the dumb actions we're taking. But I 100% agree that we should be doing something more. We have this gift, and when I say gift, I'm not saying someone gave it to us like a god. We have this lucky gift of being able to be self-aware, being able to learn from mistakes and not have to repeat certain processes, right? But with that being said, real quick, I don't know for sure. So I don't believe there's a higher power. I don't believe in fate. I don't believe there's destiny. I don't believe things happen for a reason and it was chosen and planned and whatever. I don't believe any of that. But like if I were to die and then I go to like, you know, let's say in the Christian faith, right? You go to heaven's gates or whatever, and like, you know, there you get judged if you get into heaven or not. Like if that were to happen and they'd be like, Jesus would be like, yo, motherfucker, why don't you believe in me? I'm like, well, there wasn't enough evidence for me to believe in you, bro. But now I see it. Oh shit, this is real. That's dope. Like I would give props. I'm like, oh, you guys are legit.
Okay.
Like I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. But from a logical,
and you know, you still wouldn't get in. Like even if
honestly,
you're like, oh, he's here, you're real. You're that's not the.
Okay, real quick though, I firmly do believe that I would be allowed in.
You would be in heaven?
Yeah.
If there was a heaven?
There was a heaven, I firmly believe it. Like there's this idea that if you're not a believer, you don't go to heaven.
Yeah.
I think that's bullshit. And that's someone that try to make that shit up just to fucking make people scared.
Yeah.
Because I know like 100% that I am a good human being and I've always been good to human beings. That like if there were to be a heaven, Jesus would be like, you know what, bro? Like you didn't believe in me.
So what you're saying is you don't feel you would constitute being sent to hell.
100%.
Not that you belong in heaven. It's different. Right, so that you wouldn't like if hell had a checklist. Like I don't check enough of these boxes to be in here, man.
But I check enough for heaven.
You
Check
enough
100%
for heaven.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think like if there was one, I've proven to be a good enough human being to other people
that you don't deserve damnation.
for sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, that's respectable. I'm with
I think
you.
I would get some fucking angel wings.
I don't know if I'd get like, I wouldn't sit next to God in the buffet, but I'd at least be in the building, right?
I'd be invited
yeah,
to go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
But,
saying
like,
I'm sitting right now.
But also too, because the humility of being able to admit that I was wrong.
Yeah.
I would say, oh shit, I was wrong. My
yeah,
bad.
once you saw it, and once it was undoubtable and undeniably.
But that's what I think that is desired. Like that's what required.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just blindly believe anything from people. And
also there's not like, oh, there wasn't any proof. Like there's like scriptures and like there's stuff you can read.
But the problem with that is
that
that's coming from written form.
Everything comes from written form.
And that's the problem.
Math books, science
That's what I'm saying.
books.
Humans are flawed.
Yeah.
So like, for me to believe someone based on what they say they were told by a higher power,
it's math. You believe in math? Don't you even believe in math?
Math is a universal language across all the cosmos. There's no denying math because you can prove it in any, like there's no language to it.
But someone taught that person that math. And those books were written by a mathematician.
But the thing is,
what if they got it wrong way earlier than we?
No, because like universal, like proven math, it's by unit, and a unit can be anybody's interpretation. Just like we have inches, and in Europe they have centimeters.
Okay, so you're saying an alien from Mars would still count 1 + 1 = 2?
2, correct.
Because that would
100%. So like math is universal. There's no way that can be interpreted in a wrong way.
Sure.
But like language, words that are given meaning by individuals and saying this means that, but someone says no, I thought that meant this.
Yeah,
there's too much gray area.
Because it could also mean that, but not anymore, or it did at that time.
Like
or
slang can mean like
sure.
You good, bro? That could mean like, hey, you good, bro? Like, you okay? You fell? Are you all right? Or you good, bro? You trying to get down or what? What's up, homie? Like, language is bullshit.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
says the rapper. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is what I'm talking about, Hype. This is why I do these interviews, because I want to know where these thoughts and these ideas come from the artists that I respect and that I follow. And I also think it's good to have them directly come from the artist, not being able to be misinterpreted through their songs or actions, but directly from your mouth. You're telling me this is what I feel, this is what I believe, and this is why I've been loving doing this show for 6 years. It's just every time I do it, I learn something new that I didn't know before, and I get to go home and process. Like, man, he really thought of that. That's motivating to me. Yeah. So I appreciate it. Last and final round, round 12, Hyphenate. Why?
Because why? Why? Just why?
Why? I want to know your why.
My why is because that's the beauty of life. Like, you get to decide what your why is. Like, there's no set path that you have to take. Like, you can decide what your life is made to be. Mm-hmm. Not even made to be, I'm sorry. You can decide what you want your life to be. You can make your life what you want it to be. So like, my why can be different than someone else's why. And that's beautiful, because like, I don't have to do what you do. You don't have to do what I do. And we can go on separate journeys and still contribute to the people around us, to the world, in however way we want. And I love that freedom. Like, that's the most beautiful thing about, an individual, is that we could either believe the same thing or share similar characteristics or have similar interests, or completely opposite, but I get to decide the path that I want to live. And my why is to show people that they can decide their path and also like have fun and make people feel good. Like the emotion of bliss, of happiness, is like one of the, that's what life is about. I think, like, I don't have a higher power belief. I don't believe in destiny or fate, but I do believe that you can be happy if you want to be happy, and you can make others feel happy. So why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're the champion. You win the 12 rounds. See, and I think we got a more mature. I know we got a more mature Hyphenate since the last time we've done
6 years ago. That's
a
long
more
time.
Evolved Hyphenate, a Hyphenate who is obviously learning from himself as each day goes by, as each product,
and from others. I'm very grateful that I have other people that I can learn from, whether it's in my personal, like, environments,
Yeah.
or that I can see online or whatever. So, you know, other humans are very essential to me. So I'm thankful.
Yeah. It's awesome. Well, tell the people where they can find you, where they can get to know you now on your art form and what you put out and what you produce.
I got a lot of outlets.
Yes.
My YouTube channel, The Hyphenate, you can see a bunch of my videos there. Gaming, music, podcast, concepts on quite a few episodes.
Yeah.
My music is on Spotify, Apple Music, every music platform you can imagine, The Hyphenate. My Twitch is the same, is just gaming. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, everything just The Hyphenate. Just search The Hyphenate on YouTube, I'll pop up. And yeah, hopefully you guys like either my music or my videos or my gaming, whatever. I do a lot of stuff and I like to live life to the fullest and create. So, you know, I appreciate you for having me on your show, bro.
Anytime.
I'm hyped to be on your episode again.
Yeah.
You've made a few appearances lately on my podcast, so I'm hyped to be on yours.
You've given me you scratched my podcast itch since you let me be on yours. I appreciate you coming back to the show. I'm very proud to be your friend. I'm very proud of the things that you've accomplished. You're somebody that I look for personally for inspiration and motivation, because I'm like, fucking God, this is so good. Why is this so good? It's not fair that this gets to be this good, and it only gets better. I've your things you're putting out are only more well put together than the last, and that's something that I think is important to shine a light on, especially for the newcomer and artists or anyone who might be listening who has an interest in doing whatever it is. Do it well, and people will respond. Life will respond to you. Find that path that you want to walk. And life will let you know if it's the right one. Listen to it. It will. Things will seem to fall into place, but it's really your hard work, like we talked about,
100%.
and it's the luck that your hard work will develop into. Right. Yeah. So, thank you for sitting with us.
Thank you, bro.
So for the Hyphenate, for Doubt Me Studios, for real and true hip hop everywhere, this is Concept 714 asking you, demanding that you help us wake the flock up.
Peace.
You are now tuned into the Wake the Flock Up Network.
This old-time radio program was originally aired live, long before the advent of high fidelity. As a result, you may detect an occasional surface noise or volume drop due to transmission problems so common to old radio. We hope, however, that any variance in audio quality will not take away from your pleasure in listening to this, one of the all-time favorite shows.
Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Everybody wake the fuck up! From the city to the burbs, every street, every curve, you can block what you heard. That's the cure. Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Everybody wake the fuck up! From the city to the burbs, every street, every curve, you can block what you heard. That's the cure. Wake the fuck up!